The whole idea of what a job even is, it's completely changing. It doesn't matter if you're ordering lunch or building the next generation of artificial intelligence, the way we all work is becoming way more fluid, way more mobile, and honestly, a lot more competitive. This massive shift is basically creating two parallel worlds of work. And to really get it, we have to start with something we see every single day.
Think about it. We see this all the time, right? The driver bringing you your dinner, the freelancer online who designed that company's logo. This is the gig economy in action. It's a whole workforce that's all about flexibility, powered by these digital platforms, and it's happening right in our own neighborhoods.
Okay, but let's pause for a second. What about the person who actually built that delivery app? The software engineer, the AI researcher, the data scientist. Well, they're part of a completely different global competition, a high-stakes race for the world's best and brightest minds. And that's the story we're diving into today. These two parallel worlds of work, both defined by one key thing: mobility.
All right, first up, let's break down that local workforce, the one that's basically powered by our smartphones. So, what do we even mean by gig work? Well, according to some great research from Canada's Future Skills Center, it's not just any old side hustle. It's a pretty specific model. It's work that's organized through a digital platform, and this is the key part, you aren't a traditional employee. So yeah, you get a ton of flexibility, but you also lose out on all the traditional benefits, like health insurance or paid sick days. It's a trade-off. And this leads to two totally different ways of looking at the exact same thing. On one side, you have the worker power argument. This view says gig work is amazing. It gives people freedom and more control over their own lives. But on the other side, you've got the worker exploitation view, which says this is just a sneaky way for companies to dodge their responsibilities and weaken workers' rights that took decades to build. And, the real truth is probably somewhere in between. And it's not like all gig workers are the same. Not at all. The research actually breaks them down into at least 4 different groups. You've got your platform professionals, think freelance graphic designers on sites like Upwork. Then there are the entrepreneurial influencers, the people building huge personal brands online. You also have asset enablers, people renting out a spare room or their car. And finally, you have the taskers, your delivery drivers and errand runners. Each one of these groups has a completely different experience in this new economy. Okay, let's totally shift gears now. We're going from the local gig worker to the global genius. We're talking about the most highly skilled professionals on the planet and the global battle to attract them. For decades, so many countries, like Canada, have had this nagging fear of a brain drain. It's this idea that their best and brightest people are all packing up and leaving for better opportunities somewhere else, usually the United States. It's been a real source of national anxiety for a long, long time.
But here's the thing. Is that decades-old fear still really justified today? Well, for a long time, it absolutely was. The data from Statistics Canada is super clear on this. From the early 90s all the way to the mid-2010s, Canada consistently lost more high-skilled people to the US than it gained. The brain drain was very real. But then, look at what's happened more recently. Since about 2018, the whole game has changed. The flow of talent has become much more of a two-way street. It's not so much a drain anymore. It's more like a talent exchange. And that is a huge shift in the story. So who are the people in this big talent exchange? We're talking about highly educated professionals, especially folks in tech, math, and engineering. The pay is incredible. The median salary offers are well into the 6 figures. But here's a really fascinating detail. By 2024, a full 60% of these Canadian citizens moving to the US were actually born in other countries first. It just goes to show you, for a lot of top talent, this is a multi-step global journey.
So let's zoom in even further, right to the absolute cutting edge of this talent race, the world of artificial intelligence researchers. A survey asked top-tier AI researchers a simple question. If you were going to move, where would you go? The results couldn't be clearer. The United States is still the undisputed champion, with 58% of these experts considering a move there. The UK and Canada are next, forming a very clear top 3 in the global AI talent hunt.
But why do they move? What's the real motivation here? Well, it's definitely not just about the money. Overwhelmingly, the number one reason, at 91%, is professional opportunity. The chance to work on the coolest projects with the smartest people. But lifestyle, political stability, and even personal relationships are also huge factors.
Now, what's really interesting is that ease of immigration is a factor for just under half of them. But as we're about to see, its absence can be an absolute deal breaker.
And that brings us to what might be the single biggest barrier a country can put in its own way when it's trying to win this race for talent. So, picture this. A country can have the best universities, the most innovative companies, a fantastic culture. It can check every single box on a top researcher's wish list. But guess what? None of that matters if they can't actually get a visa to live and work there. The immigration process can be the ultimate gatekeeper, slamming the doors shut. And this is where the story gets really, really interesting. When these elite AI researchers were asked if immigration issues were a serious problem for doing research in the country they're currently in, the numbers are just staggering. In the top 3 destination countries, a huge chunk of researchers see it as a major roadblock. I mean, just look at that number for the United States, 69%. Let that sink in. More than 2/3 of the top AI talent already in the US believe that visa and immigration problems are a serious obstacle to their work. This is the #1 destination in the world, actively creating a massive headache for the exact talent it's trying to attract. It's unbelievable. So, what does this all mean when we put it together? What's the real takeaway from these 2 worlds of work, from the local delivery driver to the global research lab? The single thread connecting everything is mobility. It's the ability and the desire to move to where the best opportunities are. It doesn't matter if that's across town for a delivery gig or across an ocean for a research job. And this whole new reality comes with a new set of rules for competition in the 21st century. At the end of the day, everybody, from gig workers to geniuses, is looking for the best possible deal. A country's appeal isn't just about its dynamic economy. It's also about how big its welcome mat is. And that means policy, especially immigration policy, can be a country's greatest asset or its biggest own goal. Which leaves us with a final, really crucial question. In this global race for the people who are literally inventing our future, what's ultimately more valuable? Is it offering the biggest paycheck? Or is it simply offering an open door?